It's tough to put a finger on. It's tough to say what what the problem is as far as not bringing it like we're supposed to. They play like they lost 10 straight, and we play like we won 10 straight. So we just have to find a way.
But why that playing like you guys won 10 straight? I mean, you guys know.
I don't think that was our attitude, but that's just how we played the game. We weren't the aggressor. They came in very aggressive. They made shots early, and to get a team like that come in and has it easy and make shots, it gives those guys confidence, and it was a long game for us.
I want to win. I don't care how I'm playing. I just want to win. That's what I'm, frustrated about. That's what I voiced, a couple weeks ago. I'll do anything to win. I know we have the pieces to win. We just got to find a way.
Celtics blow it to the worst team in the league right now. They lose to the New York Knicks 101-95. That's why we're going to break it all down. Garden Report, CLNS Radio, and Celtics Blog. All right, I'm Jared Weiss. With me, as always, Jimmy Toscano, and a newcomer to the show, Zach Cox from Nesson.com.
Zach, yeah,
welcome aboard, buddy.
Wow, it's good to be on board.
We're gonna beard it up tonight, although it looks like your beard's been trimmed down a little bit.
I didn't know that he was gonna be on the show. I would have kept mine. Dang.
Got the whole copper thing going here. It's pretty nice. So we're gonna break this one down.
Just joking. I can't grow a beard, so anyways.
The beard's been painted on this entire time, all 4 seasons. So we're going to talk about this game, because why wouldn't we? It's a post-game show.
Yes.
It was really ugly and then got really exciting at the last second here. But the Celtics, they couldn't really compete with a team that was on a 10-game winning streak. Losing streak. I forgot, it's not the Knicks of 2 years ago. Carmelo Anthony barely even played in this game. Before the game, we weren't even sure if he was going to play, and he was in the starting lineup.
He barely even played. He had 40 minutes.
I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. He was barely going to play in this game, and then ended up playing a ton. That was a bad faux pas there. He ended up playing 39 minutes, 27 seconds, so he went all out tonight. And there was a superstar on the other side, or supposed superstar on the other side of the court there, that did not go all out. That was Rajon Rondo. Jimmy, first off, what's going on with Rondo?
Wow, I wish I had that answer. This game, it's kind of the same as it's been in some past games. If you go back and look at the last 8 or so, you can go back a little further, he's just not aggressive. He's not taking the shots. You can't score if you don't shoot the ball. It's really that simple. And I get it. He's making great passes sometimes to Zeller, and he's making the right passes. But there are just some points in a game where you have to create your own offense. You have to take the shot, and you have to be your own offense. You can't rely on somebody else to do it for you. And it's to the point now where he's just not even shooting the ball. 3 shots tonight. You can go back the game before that. I think he had like 11 shots in the last game. But a couple before that, it was the same thing. Low shot output. I just don't think he's being aggressive. And the Celtics need him to be much more aggressive. Brad Stevens said he's told him, we need you to be more aggressive. And when he told him that, he took 17 shots back to back, but it was just like, that was it. After that and before that, there wasn't much going on.
So, Zach, what did you see tonight as far as the offense was concerned? Why couldn't they get a spark?
It's tough. This is the issue when you have, when Rondo is your key kind of superstar player, because he's not the kind of guy that's known for making his own offense. He loves the whole facilitation thing. He's working terrifically with Zeller. You saw that again tonight. Zeller had, 19 points. But you just need to, it's a tough kind of situation, because you want Rondo to be that #1 guy that's going to really power the offense, but he's also kind of not really wired that way. And you'll see, he'll, like Jimmy said, he'll turn it on for 2 games, and then he'll just shut it back down. This was the second, I think it was the 5th time in his last 8 games he's had 2 or fewer points. And it was the 3rd time in 2 games, or 2nd time in 3 games that he's taken 3 shots. He's just, it's something he's got to do. He's got to power through, but it's also just, it's why everybody says that Rondo needs another kind of A-lister with him.
And you're talking about max players, because Rondo supposedly considers himself to be a max player, and Danny Ainge has even said that, based on his past, he could be considered a max player. Well, Carmelo Anthony is a max player, and I know a max player for Melo is more money than a max player for Rondo. And you don't really want to compare yourself to Melo, because Melo hasn't won anything in his career. He's kind of faded off when it matters. But the one thing Melo does is he can score and he can close out. He's a closer. He can close games. He gets the ball at the end of games. You know he's going to get the ball, and you have to put your best defender on him, and you have to really give it your best shot. With Rondo, that's not the case. He's really not part of the play. unless he's inbounding the ball or you know, whether he's the middleman in the play for the end of the game. So I just think that's the difference with a guy like Rondo and a guy like Melo or, you know, Kobe or, you know, some of those max guys, is that they are the closers. You know, Dwight Howard aside, he's a game changer in his own way. But at the end of the game, the ball is in those guys' hands, and it's just not in Rondo's hand. And tonight, we saw it again. The Celtics got it to within 5, and they really had nowhere to go with it. My biggest question in the night, and I don't know if you guys agree, was coming out of a timeout. Brad Stevens went with Rondo and Pressey in the game, and Marcus Thornton sitting on the sidelines. He's probably your best three-point shooter, and he hit a couple big shots tonight. Why wasn't he in the game at that point?
Well, I thought it was the perimeter ball pressure. And that was something that was really important for the Celtics when they were successful, is that they had really strong ball pressure, they forced turnovers, they picked off passes, and they got into their transition game, which is pretty much their only offensive strength right now, besides the pick and roll with Zeller and Rondo. And they were able to do that to a decent degree tonight when they were making that comeback late in the fourth quarter. A lot of that was Pressey and Rondo rotating around, double teaming, picking off passes and getting into the break. And so I thought that was probably a good call, but they still needed more shooting.
Out of a timeout, though. There's no transition right there.
It's the way it almost always takes away two, because Pressey you're not going to give the ball to.
I don't know why Pressey was out in the game. I get Rondo, I get Cindy Rondo, but why is Pressey in the game in that situation? Put Marcus Thornton out there. At least he can park himself at the three-point line and draw a defender that way. But instead, you have Green. I think it was Green inbound. No, Olynyk inbounded to Green. Green handed off to Olynyk, and Olynyk airballed the three. I don't really know what Rondo and Pressey were doing at that time, but I know that they weren't part of the play at all. But at least if Thornton's in there, he's an option. And obviously the Olynyk shot wasn't a great one because he didn't catch anything.
It seems like maybe that was more of a defensive game plan in a short time frame where they needed offense, where scoring was the priority.
They had another timeout after that, I'm pretty sure. I just don't. I thought that Thornton would have gone back out there out of the timeout.
I agree. No, I agree with you. I'm trying to understand why Stevens did that. It didn't. That was a game play move that didn't make a lot of sense. Probably another game play move that didn't make sense was keeping Jared Soldier in this game pretty much at all. It was one of his worst games in memory. And not only did he not score at all, and he went 0 for 6 from the field, but Amari ate him alive on the other end. Amari looked like he was still in Phoenix there, Zach. I mean, what did you see going on there?
He really did. I mean, you saw, even later in the game, Zeller did a relatively good job on Amari. I think he blocked him 3 times in the last 2 minutes, but Sullinger just couldn't handle him whatsoever. And on the offensive end, he's a kind of big that's supposed to score, that's supposed to really kind of stretch out the offense, be able to get those perimeters, those threes, those deep twos. He wasn't doing a thing tonight. He was the worst game I've seen him play in a long, long time, certainly this season.
Yeah, Brad Stevens said after the game, like, they need to get him going. He needs to be a part of their offense in order for them to win games, which is 110% true.
All right, let's go to part 2. We'll pick up this conversation more, but we want to keep the videos relatively short. So before we go, remember to like the Garden Report on Facebook, to download the podcast on iTunes, download the CLNS Radio post-game show on iTunes, and also I want to give a shout out to Bianca over at Mario Russo for the sweet-ass haircut. So we'll be back for part 2 of the Garden Report.
That's good.
Well, the energy so far has been good. I think we after getting this win tonight, it's going to kind of get a fresh start, and we feel like we now can get that boulder off our back and continue to try to play well and keep getting these wins. We stayed together. Even though we lost a lot of games in that stretch, we stayed together. We persevered. We talked it out. I think now getting this win tonight, it's a good win for us. We want to keep getting wins.
I thought they did some good things. I thought Rondo, especially right out of the gate, was looking to make plays and got into the paint and made plays for others, and and obviously rebounded the ball. Sully's a really good player who's had a couple tough games in a row, and so I think the most important thing we can do is encourage him, but we certainly need him to be good. And but there's a lot of things when you lose a game that factor into losing the game, and so I don't think it's any one person's play or any two people's play. It's a collective effort, win or lose.